Hi friends. So today we are going to see how networking works in Kubernetes, and so I'm going to use my beautiful drawing today. So please bear with me. So what we are going to do today is we are going to check how networking in Kubernetes work and how different pods talk to each other and how services works on them. So before going further, so in Kubernetes, networking model relies heavily on IP addresses, like services, pods, containers, and node. They all communicate using IP addresses and ports. And Kubernetes provides different type of load balancing to direct traffic to the correct pod. So let's start by reviewing first the basic pod networking. So what is in pod and how they talk to each other inside a pod. So let's suppose we have a pod like this. So this square box is our pod. So this is the pod and it is supposed to be P here, but okay. So inside a pod, let's suppose we are running two containers, one Nginx container and one legacy application. So our Nginx container is running on port 80 and our legacy application, it could be a Java application or anything. So let's suppose it's running on port 8000, right? So inside pod, as we all have seen in the first tutorial which we did, that every pod is assigned an IP address, and this IP address, let's suppose it is 10.4.0.2. So what happens in this case, these two containers running inside this pod will share this IP address, and they both can talk to each other using localhost, that is 127.0.0.1 or localhost, and they will also share the shared storage. So if there is storage available on this pod, it can be external or internal, so they can share this storage as well. So if Nginx container wants to expose this backend legacy application, it can do through using localhost proxy on TCP port 8000, and this works well if you have everything running on single pod, but your workload doesn't run on a single pod. So how does different pods talk to each other? What happens when you have another pod running here and one more here? Now we want to learn how these pods will talk to each other, because internally this thing can talk on port localhost, but how is this communication or this communication is going to happen, or how these two will talk to each other? So next, let's check that, and we'll see how this communication is happening. So pod to pod communication. So let's start first by creating a node. Let's suppose all our pods are running inside a node. So this is our node. So as we know, similar to pods, each node also gets an IP address, and as we know, in GKE, each node is a VM, and each VM gets assigned a NIC. So every virtual machine inside GCP gets a NIC assigned to it, and then we have the pod which we saw earlier. Let's suppose we have two different pods running here, pod 1 and this is pod 2, and they have an IP address assigned to it themselves. So they will also have an Ethernet connection, Ethernet 0 and this is also Ethernet 0. So how they are going to talk to each other? They are going to use nodes networking namespace. So what is happening here is that each node has a unique IP address, just like a host on the network. So on a node, the pods are connected to each other through the node's route network's namespace. So which ensures that pods can find and reach each other on that VM. So this allows two pods to communicate on the same node, and route network namespace is connected to the node's primary NIC. So this is our network namespace, and this is connected to our primary NIC here. So which means that the IP address on the pods on the pod, they must be routable on the network that are nodes connected to. And where does the node get the IP address for the pods? In GKE, as I said, the nodes will get the pod IP addresses from the network range assigned to your virtual private cloud or VPC. So what is a VPC in GCP? So VPC are logically isolated networks that provide connectivity for resources you deploy within GCP, such as Kubernetes cluster or compute engine instances, or it could be an app engine flex instance. So a VPC can be composed of many different IP subnets in a region all around the world. When you deploy a GKE, you can select a VPC along with the region or the zone. And if you remember in the second tutorial where we created a cluster, we also selected the network. We didn't create a VPC, so by default there is a default VPC created for you when a project is started. So we selected that network and we assigned that VPC to our cluster. And by default, a VPC has an IP subnet pre-allocated for each GCP region in the world. The IP addresses in the subnet are then allocated to the compute instances that you deploy in that region. And as you learned earlier, GKE cluster nodes are compute instances that GKE customizes and manages for you. These machines are assigned IP addresses from the VPC subnet that they reside in. So this node is basically inside a VPC network. So this from this VPC, and the IP address is getting assigned to this node. And VPC native GKE clusters automatically create an alias IP range to reserve approximately 4,000 IP addresses for cluster-wide services that you may create later. And this mitigates the problem of unexpectedly running out of service IP addresses. And we will learn later that your application can talk to one another, how they are talking to one another. And VPC native GKE cluster also creates a separate alias IP range for your pods. So remember, each pod must have a unique address, so this address space must be large. And by default, the address range uses /14 block, so which contains over 250,000 IP addresses, and that's a lot of pods. So in reality, Google is not expecting you to run 250,000 pods in a single cluster, and instead, like that's massive IP address range allows GKE to divide the IP space amongst the node. So using this large pod IP range, GKE allocates a much smaller /24 block to each node, which contains about 250 IP addresses. And this allows 4,000 nodes with overrunning 100 pods each by default. The number of nodes you expect to use and the maximum number of pods per node are configurable. So you do not have to use /14 for this. you can choose whatever address range is appropriate for your project. So today we saw how the networking is working inside the pod. So I just want to show you one more image. So this image will make it little bit more clear. Pardon for that, it's not that clean. So as I said, there is a base VPC for your cluster, and then from there a node IP range is assigned to each node. So each node is getting this network interface for that, and from there an IP is assigned to that node, and the range is assigned to that node. So there is a pod IP range of /24, and from there each pod gets a IP address, correct? And this is at the cluster level. So this is how the networking is working inside Kubernetes. And today that's all. So we will continue to learn more about Kubernetes. I hope to see you in the next chapter. Thank you.